Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. I've had some unusual requests come in this week, and this is one of them. This is by Victor. Victor has some KastKing Rover reels. They're very nice reels. And he has asked me to remove the line guide feature so that it functions as a conventional reel. So, first time you kind of wince, but then you realize what's going on, and I can appreciate what he's trying to do. Now, he sent me two of these. I believe they're both left-handed reels, and we have a large capacity reel here. It's a lower gear ratio than some. Very much looks like a Boost 7000. It's that kind of a size reel, large capacity to it. And let's see, yeah, we have a left-handed reel here. So what he's asked me to do is to remove the line guide so he can fish it as a conventional reel. Not a bad idea. Well, one of the things you need to know is there's a right way and a wrong way to remove that line guide. Just based on the experiences of what I've seen come into my shop, a lot of people do it a lot of different ways. Everything from simply grabbing a pliers and ripping off the piece to taking that off and the worm gear and the like. And well, I'll show you the right way to do it, at least on this reel, if you're considering moving to a conventional reel. Most of the time, when you go to do that line guide exchange, it becomes a little bit awkward because most of the conventional reels have an open top that makes it easy to thumb the reel in lining on retrieve. When you go to a line guide mechanism, it has the top bar, and that sometimes gets in the way of an efficient lining. But I'm going to leave that to Victor to figure that part out. That's, as my daughter likes to say, beyond my pay grade. But I'm sure that's one of the considerations he's had. Why do you remove the line guide? Well, some people don't like to fish it. And some folks, well, they just... they're convinced that the line guide is just going to get in the way. It's going to slow things down. It will, and we'll show you how to solve that. But in casting, it will certainly slow things down if you're using this as a casting reel. And that's because your spool has got to drive the idler gear, which is going to drive the line guide, and all that energy takes away from the length of a cast. Well, as I'm taking off the gear side plate, I want to encourage you to subscribe to my channel if you do like these types of videos. And well, if you subscribe, please use the notification button. That'll let you know when I'm posting, what I'm posting, and you can make a decision as to whether you want to watch that or not. This is a traditional bait casting reel. You'll push down to free spool, and then it will click back. And this is a new reel, so it doesn't require any kind of service. He's just asking me to remove the line guide. Let's show you how to remove the line guide and what else should be done. First thing you want to do is remove the cap and the pawl. Pawl comes right out, cap. Put those in a safe place. You never know if you're ever going to want to reinstall. And a lot of times I've seen people remove these, kind of throw them away. Next up, we're going to remove the E-clip and the washer that's holding the worm gear in place. Slide the worm gear over so that you can slide the line guide bar off, and then replace the worm gear and clip. Now, why do you do that? You would think, okay, I don't need the drive on that worm gear. Doesn't seem to make any sense to me. Why am I putting it back? You're putting it back so that you can avoid water intrusion into the reel. If you left those two holes open, well, water's going to come in there. It's like an open door. If the water comes in, it's guaranteed that it's going to settle inside the reel, or at least wash over it. And well, you see here, you've got all these holes in the back. Imagine the water coming through the side plate here, coming into the holes, and next thing you know, you've got a reel that's filled with all kinds of debris and contaminant like micro sands and salts. So if you put the line guide back the way it's designed, there's no hole there, and the water can't come in. Now we're going to put this side back on. Oh, let's leave that off for a moment. I'll show you the other side. Well, we mentioned that the line guide is driven from a gear on the spool. And even if you've disabled the bar going back and forth, if you leave the drive in place, it means it's still turning the worm gear. Well, that's going to drag the performance down on your casting. What do? You remove the drive gear. There's an E-clip that's holding that on. And interestingly enough, I always get this question a lot. Why do they make these idler gears, or most idler gears, plastic? And here we've got an example of one that they made in metal. So there you go. The answer to why those are usually plastic is that it's a fail-safe. If you get snagged, you'll break the plastic gear, but you won't break the reel. So we've just taken off the drive gear. We're going to pack all of those into a little baggie, and we're going to give them back to Victor. But we're going to reinstall this and the reel without that drive mechanism. So what have we done? We've removed the line guide assembly. We've removed the drive gear for the worm. And we've probably enabled this reel to cast quite a bit further. What's quite a bit? I don't know. It depends on how you throw this. But if you're using this one in a saltwater environment, and let's say your average cast is getting to that, getting over the first break, but not to the second break, it's quite possible that with the right rod, you've moved it to the point where you can get over that second break. This is a nice reel. It has ball bearings on both sides, so it should be able to cast nicely. And what this looks like now, well, it looks like a high-speed type of a version of a like a 7,000 on the Abu scale, if you will. And let's figure out how this goes now. Goes right back in. And what we've done now is we've kind of hot rodded this reel. We've made it so that the reel itself doesn't have the drag of the line guide. And that's going to improve the performance. And again, if you're looking for a conventional reel, well, you just kind of made one here. And I mentioned the only downside to this one is that, well, thumbing that line when you go to collect it, you may be impacted by the top bar. So I'm just looking here. I'm thinking maybe not. You should be able to sneak in under that. And well, let's adjust the spool. Let's go in the free spool. Yeah, see how nice that spool spins? And without it driving that worm gear, it's spinning faster. Well, what does that mean? You're going to get a further cast because it's going to release that line. Then, of course, this is a lefty reel. You'll bring it back in. Well, so an unusual request, and one that I don't get often, but I guess this is a double unusual one, because not only did we have the request for the removal of the line guide assembly, but we also got it on the left-handed reel. Double odd. Okay, we're going to take the pole, put that in the line carrier. There's a little washer that goes on the top of that. Then we got the cap. We're going to store all of this in case at some point in the future somebody wants to put it back together again. Another mistake that people make when they knock these off, well, they throw them away, or they lose them, or whatever. Well, he gave me the boxes for these. We're going to put all those pieces and parts right back into the box. And, well, if he ever has any second thoughts about changing back to a line guide reel, there you go. We've got it done. And the parts are there. Notice that as you do this now, the worm gear is not turning. So the major advantage of putting the shield and the worm gear back in is to block the holes for water access. Well, that's it. An unusual request. Victor, thanks for sending it. Kind of made my day with something out of the ordinary. I appreciate that. And we'll get these reels back to you shortly. Thanks again to everybody who's involved in public safety. I appreciate all of your efforts and dedication to task. And thank you to Victor for sending these in. And I want to wish everybody great days on the water, welcoming the friendships you'll make, and, well, fun fishing and fun keeping your reels serviced. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Have a great day.